The creepiest footage of alleged Chernobyl monsters. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the eeriest places on Earth, Chernobyl. Ever since the catastrophic nuclear disaster in 1986, the exclusion zone has been shrouded in mystery and spine-chilling tales. From ghost towns frozen in time to whispers of unnatural creatures lurking in the shadows, it's a place that fuels our darkest curiosities. For those who might not be entirely familiar, back in April 1986, reactor number 4 at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine exploded during a safety test gone horribly wrong. This catastrophic event released massive amounts of radioactive material into the atmosphere, leading to one of the worst nuclear disasters in human history. The immediate area was evacuated, turning bustling towns into ghostly snapshots of a bygone era. Over the decades, countless stories have emerged about strange happenings inside the exclusion zone. From mutated creatures to supernatural phenomena, Chernobyl has become a hotbed for legends. But the real question is, are any of these tales grounded in reality? Today, we're going to explore some of the creepiest footage ever captured, alleged sightings of so-called Chernobyl monsters. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, stick around as we uncover the mysteries that lie within this forbidden land. Let's get into it. Chapter 1. The Shadow of Chernobyl. First off, let's set the scene a bit more. The events leading up to the disaster are a complex mix of human error and flawed reactor design. The meltdown didn't just impact the immediate area, it sent shockwaves, literally and figuratively, across the globe. The Soviet government ordered the evacuation of over 100,000 people, leaving entire communities abandoned in a matter of days. Just imagine leaving your home, your belongings, your life behind, not knowing if you'd ever return. It's chilling, isn't it? Fast forward to today, the Chernobyl exclusion zone covers about 2,600 square kilometers. Nature has slowly but surely reclaimed the land. Trees grow through the floors of decaying schools, and wild animals roam freely where humans once lived. There's an eerie beauty to it all, a stark contrast between the tranquility of nature and the silent reminders of the disaster. Now, let's talk about the elephant, or perhaps the wolf, in the room: radiation. Radiation has profound effects on living organisms. Scientists have documented cases of mutations in plants and animals within the zone. Some trees exhibit strange growth patterns, and there have been sightings of animals with physical abnormalities. But here's where things get even more interesting: the ecosystem is thriving in the absence of humans. How wild is that? Chapter 2. Birth of the Legends. With an area as isolated and mysterious as Chernobyl, it's no surprise that myths started to brew. When you have a place so restricted, stories fill the void where facts are scarce. The unknown sparks the imagination, doesn't it? Tales began circulating about creatures mutated by radiation, some benign, others far more sinister. Stalkers. No, not the creepy kind. The term used for people who illegally enter the exclusion zone, have brought back stories that'll make your skin crawl. Some speak of giant cats with glowing eyes, others of winged beings lurking near the power plant. Even some workers and researchers who have special permission to be there have reported hearing unnatural sounds and seeing shadows that don't quite add up. Let's be real, being in a place like Chernobyl messes with your head. The silence, the decay, the ever-present danger of radiation. It's a recipe for the mind to play tricks. When you're on edge, every rustle in the bushes becomes a potential threat. Fear can do crazy things to perception. Chapter 3. The first alleged footage. Alright, story time. The first piece of alleged monster footage we're looking at comes from a group of urban explorers who ventured into the zone in the early 2000s. Equipped with night vision cameras and a thirst for adventure, they aimed to document the eerie landscape. In the video, the group is navigating through an abandoned apartment block. It's nighttime, and everything is cloaked in darkness. Suddenly, the camera catches a glimpse of a tall, slender figure darting past a doorway. The figure appears humanoid but moves in a way that's, well, not quite human. The explorers whisper in hushed, panicked tones as they try to make sense of what they just saw. When this footage hit the internet, it blew up. People were freaking out, debating whether this was proof of a Chernobyl mutant or just a clever hoax. Skeptics pointed out the possibility of video editing or misidentification, while others swore it was genuine. What do you think? Could it have been real? Chapter 4. Analyzing the second encounter. The next clip we're examining surfaced a few years later, from a documentary crew allowed into the zone. Unlike the first, this was captured during the day, offering a bit more clarity. As the crew films the desolate streets of Pripyat, The camera suddenly zooms in on a strange creature skulking near a collapsed building. It's larger than a dog but moves with a low gait, almost like a big cat. But here's the kicker, it appears to have multiple limbs or distorted features. The creature notices the crew and swiftly disappears into the rubble. We reached out to some wildlife experts who suggested it could be a bear with mange or perhaps a wolf affected by radiation-induced mutations. Others aren't so sure. Video analysts noted anomalies that could indicate digital manipulation. So, is it a mutated animal, a misidentified creature, or just another hoax? Chapter 5. The most terrifying capture. Now, brace yourselves for this one. This footage is the stuff of nightmares and has been the subject of intense debate. Captured by a solo explorer known online as Nightcrawler, this clip claimed to show undeniable evidence of something lurking in Chernobyl. In the dead of night, Nightcrawler walks through the corridors of the abandoned hospital. The Geiger counter he carries ticks steadily, adding to the tension. Suddenly, a horrifying screech echoes through the halls. The camera whips around to reveal a grotesque figure at the end of the corridor, gaunt, with elongated limbs and glowing eyes. It emits another unearthly scream and begins to move toward him with shocking speed. The footage ends abruptly as Nightcrawler drops the camera. When this video was uploaded, it went viral almost immediately. News outlets picked it up, and forums were buzzing with theories. Some called it the best evidence yet of Chernobyl mutants, others were convinced it was a staged performance. Unfortunately, Nightcrawler never resurfaced to provide more details, adding another layer of mystery to the whole thing. Chapter 6. Separating fact from fiction. Alright, time to put on our rational hats. Scientists who study the Chernobyl area have weighed in on these kinds of sightings. While radiation can cause mutations, most are detrimental to the organism's survival. Severe mutations often lead to early death, not supercharged, monstrous beings. Many of the creatures reported could very well be ordinary animals affected by environmental factors or simply misidentified. Wild boars, wolves, and even escaped domestic animals roam the area. Video experts have also deconstructed these footages, pointing out inconsistencies and possible editing techniques used. Let's not underestimate how powerful our minds can be. In a place as creepy as Chernobyl, it's easy to let fear take over. Ever heard of pareidolia? It's when your mind perceives a familiar pattern where none exists. Like seeing faces in shadows or shapes in clouds. Combine that with the dark, eerie atmosphere, and you've got a recipe for imagined monsters. Chapter 7. The Allure of the Unknown. Chernobyl has become a focal point for horror stories, much like the Bermuda Triangle or Area 51. We've got movies, video games, books, all feeding into the mystique of the place. It's fascinating how certain locations capture the collective imagination, isn't it? In today's digital age, content spreads like wildfire. A single upload can reach millions overnight. While this is amazing, it also means misinformation and hoaxes can flourish. As creators and consumers, we have a responsibility to approach such content critically. At the end of the day, Chernobyl is a site of real tragedy. Thousands were affected by the disaster, and its impact is still felt today. While exploring myths and legends is intriguing, it's important to do so respectfully, without trivializing the hardships endured by so many. Conclusion. So, after sifting through these eerie footages and tales, where do we stand? While the videos are undoubtedly creepy and well-crafted, there's no concrete evidence proving the existence of Chernobyl monsters. Most likely, they're a mix of hoaxes, misidentifications, and the human penchant for storytelling. I've gotta admit, part of me wishes there was something unexplained out there. The world would be a more mysterious place, right? But skepticism is healthy, especially in the age of digital manipulation. It's fun to entertain the possibilities, but we should also seek the truth. What about you? Do you think there's more to these stories than just rumors and hoaxes? Have you heard any first-hand accounts or come across convincing evidence? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I can't wait to hear your take. Chernobyl remains a haunting reminder of human error and the resilience of nature. Whether or not monsters lurk in its shadows, the real stories, the ones of survival, of environmental recovery, are just as compelling. Perhaps the true mystery lies not in mutated creatures, but in the lessons we learn from the past. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the shadows of Chernobyl. It's been quite the journey, hasn't it? If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss out on more intriguing explorations. And seriously, let's get a conversation going. Share your thoughts below. Stay tuned for next week's video where we'll uncover the secrets of another deserted place with a dark history. You won't want to miss it. Until next time, keep your eyes open and your minds curious. This is Your Name, signing off. Stay safe out there.